What's up, guys? Nethervvoid here with more World of Tanks tank guides for you, and today we're going to be talking about the TOG 2 British Tier 6 heavy gold tank. You can see it looks really weird, and I can't remember how much it costs. I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell us how much it costs, but it's not all that much as a Tier 6. It's a decently fun tank to play, more so if you're platoons, just because it's like a kind of a funny factor, like har. People call it the bus. A submarine, stuff like that. It's kind of it's a land submarine basically, and it's really slow tank. The gun is really good though. It's got a nice reload rate and good pen, but it also has no armor and a huge hit point pool. As you can see, 1,400 hit points for a Tier 6 is quite large. I think the Tiger 1 has 1,400 hit points, so it's got a lot of hit points. The thing though is it's so slow, and it's got such a huge side profile, I guess. It's only got a small, a narrow front profile, or back, I guess. So it's kind of weird to play. The way I play this tank is kind of like any really slow tank, and seriously slow, I mean like 10 to 12 kilometers per hour max, is you want to start at the beginning of the game, at the match, start moving, and never stop moving, basically. Because you're going to find yourself quickly out of the game. There's actually a game that I don't think I'm going to show it to you, because it would be pretty boring. I started driving at the beginning of the match, and I drove the entire match, and I didn't even shoot at anyone because this tank is so slow. And that actually happens quite a bit with this tank. So if you're looking to buy a tank that's fun to grind credits for your British heavy tank line, to grind out your crew, this is really not the tank. I think it's the only option you have, but it's not a very fun tank in my opinion. It can be really deadly when you have 3 of them together, but for the most part, just getting into position, I usually get taken out on the side, or since it has no armor, it gets taken out really easily even when you pop up, when you pull up to people. It's not like a heavy where you can just sit there and bounce shots. You can bounce a little bit, but in most cases, you're not going to be bouncing a lot. I don't think it even has special matchmaking. I'm not sure on that. Let us know in the comment section if it does. I don't think it does. So when you're fighting Tier 8s, yeah, you're dead. Also, because your hit point pool is so large, you're going to get primaried. People know they can hit you and pen, and you have so much hit points, they know they'll get full damage on you. So just expect it, kind of. So that's kind of how I play this tank. Basically, I try to stay behind cover a lot, but I make sure to keep driving, and just don't even look at where your teammates are going. Think about where you want to go first, right when the map starts, and just go that direction. Sometimes I'll wait a little bit, but it usually turns out to be not in my best interest, and I'll be out of the game usually because I can't get to the battle in time. In the lower tiers, you've got a lot of faster tanks, so it's really hard to have a slow lumbering tank and actually get to the battle and actually do anything. So yeah, that's really what you need to know. So let's go over some stats. This is going to be kind of a short video, at least in the garage, because there's not a lot to talk about. 1,400 hit points, we already talked about that. It's very beastly. 81 tons. 600 horsepower engine pushing 81 tons. I don't know what they were thinking. I think this is that World War I mentality, that this is supposed to be an infantry support tank, and it's not supposed to, fight other tanks, really. It was meant to, like, as you can see, cross trenches and everything. So really not designed for World War II, and that's why the power to weight ratio is so bad. It looks like about 8, probably max, not even 10. So speed limit 14, definitely below that, something below that. So it's very frustrating. Traverse speed 20, and with a turret traverse of 32, so only 52 total traverse. The turret's not too bad, but that traverse on the tracks is horrible. Again, it's going to feel very sluggish. I don't think you're going to like this tank for most people. It's fun to platoon in them just because it's a lol factor, like, oh my god, we have TOGs, we're going to win. People kind of make fun of this tank, and it's kind of a funny thing. Luckily, it's cheap, so if you do buy it and you find out you don't like it, you haven't spent a whole lot. 360 view range, probably pretty standard for Tier 6. Nothing stellar, it's not bad. Radio, pretty standard. Not really much reason to go over these modules because they're all the same. Since it's a gold tank, it comes fully unlocked. So we can talk about this gun a little bit though. 150 damage, 171 pen, really awesome gun, 12 rounds per minute. This is the only thing that's good about this tank, is the gun. The gun is ridiculously fast, and it has really good damage and really high pen, and aim time and accuracy, not too bad. The accuracy could be a little better, but it's not bad. The .36 is not bad. Aim time, again, pretty standard there. 2.3 might be actually a little bit low actually for aim time. It's not a bad tank. It's not a bad gun. Just everything else about it sucks. If you're facing it, let's talk about weak spots a little bit, just because why not? Just shoot it right through that big hole. There is no mantlet on the lower tier British tanks. Just shoot right through there, or just shoot it, you know, in this flat spot in the front of the hole here, or just shoot it anywhere in the side if you see it on the side. But what you're going to be doing as a TOG is make sure you drive straight at people or hide the side of your armor here. It is a good side scraper as well because it's got such a huge side. But you don't want to be driving like this when you face the enemy, because obviously that's a huge target. It's going to be really easy to hit you. Also, it's very easy to get RD'd in this tank, so be careful for that. So no reason to talk about research. Just go right into equipment. I would do the same thing I always do: vent, rammer, and I'd probably do laying drive on this one, because you can't get the vert stab, and that'll help that aim time a little bit. You could also get Spall Liner just because Arty hits you, but it's not that regular anymore just because not as many people play Arty, so it doesn't really help a lot to get that, in my opinion. Vents help everything, plus 5% to all your crew skills, and then obviously Rammer makes that gun reload even faster, and then the laying drive again helps you get out there and take a shot real quick and back up and not get jacked up too quick. So that's what I do for equipment. Consumables, just the one small repair kit, especially if you're trying to make some money, because this is a gold tank. I don't usually load it up with a lot of stuff, especially also because this tank is really so weak that I don't want to put out a fire just in 2 more shots die. So I don't know, it depends. 6 HE, 138 AP, and that's just because I have space for extra HE when I'm trying to reset a cap or something. I'm not going to run out of 140 AP shells, so it's not a big deal. Crew, I am grinding my Churchill 7 crew right now. It's nice to put the crew of the same nation and type of tank into these gold tanks, so you can actually grind up the skill of a different of a crew from a different tank. You can see they're trained on the Churchill 7, and they don't get a penalty to their crew percentage here, and that's because that's how gold tanks work. If this was a low, I'd have to put a German heavy crew in here. If this was the SU 122-44, I'd have to put a Russian TD crew in here. So you can do this with all your gold tanks. The only reason I have a TOG 2 here is because the Churchill line doesn't have the extra loader, so that's why there's a TOG 2 guy in here. So anyway, that's pretty much the crew. Just grind them. I do accelerate crew training because I'm just trying to grind this crew, and I don't really care about free XP. So let's get this thing into a few games, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And yeah, again, not too impressed with this tank. I got it just for fun. And it's alright. It's the only thing you can get to grind out your British heavy crew anyway, so I guess that would be a reason you could get it. So anyway, again, let's go to the games. Hold on. So this first game I'm going to show you is actually from 8.8, and it's not at the correct speed. So, and that's because I can't get games in this tank where I'm not spending 75% or more of the game, or at least 50% of the game, just driving toward the target, or toward where I want to fight. So you can see I drove straight out. I didn't stop and wait to see what people do, like the Cromwell cam right there. I have to move out immediately, like right when the game starts. As you can see, I'm going 14 right now. This is top speed. Even downhill, this is top speed. Falling off a cliff, this is top speed. Re-entering the Earth's atmosphere, this is top speed. So I love it and learn it and think it's awesome, apparently, because, you know, this tank was, when I played this thing on the test server, for some reason it was a lot of fun, and I think it's very map dependent. If you're playing on a map where, like Himmelsdorf would be great because you can quickly get to the action. Some other maps are a lot larger and it takes longer to get to the action, or people move around a lot. Let's say, like on Himmelsdorf, there's a couple lanes, you know there are going to be people, right? So you can drive there and pretty much know you're getting in a fight. If you need to move, you don't have to go very far, there's another fight. On this map right here, you know, maps like this, it's really hard if you go to a spot and nobody's there, it's really hard to get to the other side of the map before the game's over. Heck, it's hard to even get to the fight before the game's over. So, I don't know, that's very annoying. That's one of the very annoying things about this tank. Again, I do like, if this thing did not have a good gun, nobody would ever buy it. I would say, look, just never buy this tank. In my opinion, it's much better to just buy the T14, the Tier 5 American Heavy, or there's another one that's like it. I can't remember what it is, but there's another Tier 5 tank I would much rather buy if I was buying a gold tank. The thing is, though, this, like I said, this is the only British heavy tank that a gold tank there is. It's very hilarious. It's got funny factor, but that's really it. As you can see, I really only barely stopped to shoot scouts that were driving by. Now I'm getting hit by the 3601 right in the side armor. There's not a lot I can do about it, especially it's also flat. That doesn't help. But I got to get into position to get some shots off, because in this game you have to get damage. So I thought maybe I'd get a shot on him. Nope. He's behind a wall. Keep driving. Unless you have someone to shoot at, you cannot stop. That's the only reason to stop in this tank, is for shooting at somebody. Nope, behind a building. Not having a great time here. So 12 kilometers per hour. Everybody's passed me up, and again, that's the biggest thing. People drive so fast and far ahead of you that the battle is half or more over by the time you get there, and there's just nobody to shoot at. Either your team's dead, or their team's dead. You know, the fight's over. So again, just keep on driving. So this is and this is one of the better games I had. You know, I have 300 damage already. I actually got 2 shots and actually hit people. So that's not bad at all. And again, my team's crushing people. I probably should have went to the 1-2 on this one. You know, it might be better to go where TDs go. Like where you know enemies are going to be rushing in, it might be better to go there. The problem with that is they're going to surround you and just kill you fast. So I really don't know. It's not that I don't know how to play this tank. It's just the mechanic, the features of this tank just make it ridiculously hard to play well. It's hard to get this gun into the game. As you can see, technically I'm still not up to the fight. These guys have been ahead of me the whole time. And I'm going to show you a game after this in like 8 times where I don't get to the fight the entire game. I shoot no one. I don't even take a shot. So there's a 3601. I don't mind. I'd much rather get damage before I moved here while I reload. It's probably better to do maneuvers while you're reloading, because if you can get damage on someone, you need to do that first. So I still only have 655 damage on, and so this guy's a tier 6. He's 950. I need at least be getting 800 damage per game in this tank to just break even, in my opinion. Even though it has 1,400 hit points, I think you should be averaging 800 damage a game in this tank. So if the tank cannot get you that, then yeah, there's just nothing you can really do about it. So now I'm gonna have to chase this guy down. He's what, halfway across the map? No, not even that. He's a quarter of the way across the map. It's gonna take 9 years, especially since I'm going uphill. I should have timed that. So say we started at 10 minutes, right? Let's see how long it takes to get up there. So luckily, our team's doing really well. If a side gets crushed and you aren't even to the battle yet, you're just gonna get swarmed. So yeah, this tank is not a lot of fun. I don't have bad games in this tank. Like I don't know what I'm doing and I get killed. It's mainly because, like what I said, I can't get to the battle, or the whole flank dies and then I get surrounded. I mean, there's not a lot you can do in those kind of situations. So it took me 40 seconds to get up here. I'm still not even up there. To move 2 squares took 40 seconds. That's ridiculous. And then the guy I'm trying to go after dies. So yeah, that's kind of a typical game. That's actually a decent game in this tank. I'm going to show you another one on fast speed that is just horrible. Hold on a second. Oh, okay, here's that game where I just don't get to the action. Let's just put it into like 8 times here. So I'm driving. Again, everybody leaves me way in the dust. If this was like tier 9 or 10, it might be a little bit better because there's a lot of TDs that are really slow, and this is not fixed. Here we go. So I'm driving. The enemy's already capping. This is on encounter. And yeah, I'm just getting to the battle. I still have nobody to shoot at. People are dying too fast. Okay, the guy's blocking me, and almost everyone's dead. Come on, let me get a shot off at least. Oh, can I get a shot? Maybe on the M4? No, he goes and hides because now, oh, well, there it is. So, great game. GG, guys. Let's get a game where I actually do some good. This thing is good in city maps. I'm about to show you a city map and show you. It is actually has a purpose, I guess. Hold on. So here's the last game I'm going to show you, and this is actually a pretty decent game, and that's because this is a small city map, Ensk. So that's why this is going to be a good replay here. This is when the TOG can actually, you know, do something rather than just drive for, you know, 10 minutes and never ever shoot at anything. So again, monumentally slow, and you'll get used to it. This is like the KV2. It looks like it's a little bit faster. I know the KV1 has a similar speed. It's a little bit faster. Again, I think it's 14 or 16, but this thing is just horrible. No, I think it's probably 16 or 18 in the KV1. KV2, similar. But then, like with that huge gun, you only have to get 2 shots and you just got, you know, a 1200 damage game. So, I don't know, I'm not feeling too bad about the KV2. But this tank doesn't have like a 600 alpha, you know, to make up for its slowness. T29 being ballsy because, well, he's a tier 7 in a tier 7 game, and the T29's a beast. A20, oh man, you gotta feel sorry for that guy. So, pretty easy to keep up with the guys in this map. Again, because in the city, people get in and kind of start, you know, not roughhousing. Wait, something just happened to the sound. It's totally gone. Did I just push the wrong button or something? Yes, I did. Hold on a second. There we go. Start dogfighting, kind of. You know, they're brawling. Jeez, come on, John. So here's some good shots on the YOG 4, and that just shows you it has some accuracy. 200 meters, I'm getting pretty much right on target here. Of course, my crew is 95%, and I expect if you're going to be grinding your your British heavy crew, that they'll be 100% when you're driving this thing around. So you should have decent accuracy and, you know, reload rates and stuff. So there we go, 400 damage out of 3 shots. It's kind of nice to get even that much, really. If I get 600 damage, I'm feeling like I did okay. But I mean, technically, you should be able to get a couple thousand damage in this tank. The problem is, it just can't get to the fight. So I'm trying to come around and see who I can shoot. There's the Cromwell. I should be able to shoot him on the way by. And I shot too early on accident. I clicked my mouse on accident. Plenty of enemies here. I'm kind of worried about the Chi-Nu-Kai behind us, but there's not a lot I can do about it. He's probably going to be shooting that Su-152 from the back. Because right where he is, there's like a little hole you can see through and fire through. An archway. Just like right in there that you just saw. KV2. Nice. He's not looking at me. Takes him forever to turn that turret. I can probably get off 2 shots. Boom! Now I need to get out of there because he's going to hit me for like a super huge amount. ELC, and yes! Take him out before he gets back behind the building there. Hits me for 240. That is nice. It is a little bit nice, though, that you do have 1,400 hit points. But in general, it almost doesn't help you as well because you get primaried as a big, you know, XP bag. You're a big bag of XP and credits. Just driving around for other people to score off of. One more shot and the KV2's dead. Trying to get out there and shoot at him. Like a snapshot, and he gets no damage, just track shot. I don't know what this guy's doing. If you're gonna do that, drive out behind me. You got your well, you used to have a KV2 buddy right there. If you'd have drove out behind me, well, the Su-152 would have just done that to you. So this is a decent game with the TOG, and that's just because, again, small city maps are really where you're gonna do well in this thing. It's too bad you couldn't get like a special matchmaking for a tank where it would be like put you in a lot of city maps or something. That'd be really cool. And I bet you a lot of people would buy that if they like city maps. Or you could have one for like open fields, like an arty that just gets a lot of open field maps or something, special matchmaking for it. So anyway, that's the TOG. Don't really like it that much. This was actually a pretty good game, and I almost got 1,000 damage. So Tell me what you think about this tank. I don't really like it that much. At least it's cheap. You know, it's not a tier 8 or anything. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. I mean, wait. I'm doing my new sign-off, right? Stay frosty.